Yeah, you comfortable?
I am very focused.
So people click off in like 3 minutes. So I just want to focus on this one real quick. We can do this again.
The thing is, I.
So we lit because I said I would bring weed, and I forgot the weed, so I got alcohol instead. So we lit. But what I wanted to talk about was our initial conversation when we first met through the DMs. Why? And you questioned me like why I changed my mind.
That sounds so bad.
No. It's all good because we used to work together.
We used to work together.
And so, we're networking, we DM, whatever. And the problem with it was like what you asked me.
There was no problem.
Okay, so like let's just tell the story clearly.
I am not a judgmental person. I like to.
So what did you ask me to start?
I take pictures of people, and sparingly, but it all started here actually in University High School. My friend Joe Castaños, hello Joe. I took pictures of him because I felt that I saw him in a different light than other people. So I took pictures of him here, and I've just carried that mentality for the rest of my life, that I saw people in a different light than they saw themselves. And I felt like outside of the Instagram popcorn society, instant gratification that we're in, that people who are as they are, whatever that manifests itself as being, is fantastic, is perfect. And I try to capture that, how I see them, a moment in their life that they're sharing with me. And so I asked this young man, Cedric, to be a part of a ongoing process book, maybe gallery idea that I had that showed everyone's butts. Ass
what
galore.
Was it about my butt?
Ass and titties, ass and titties.
It was about butts?
No. Yeah, well, it was about.
What was it about my butt?
Well, it was just it's not like essentially the actual butt itself, the posterior, the gluteus maximus for those who train.
I got it from my mama. From my mama. Shout out to you, mama.
Shout out to mom.
It's a gift. It's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse. But we're gonna get deep into it and tell them what happened.
The reason for my photography page initially is that I asked people, stemming back from Joe, people who didn't see themselves as I saw them, as an actualized whole being, flaws and all, bumps, lumps, discoloration, weight gain, hair not done, crust in the eye kind of person, which is real. And a lot of people really hinder on an identity mask facade of who they want to be as far as a masculine, real down male, kind of person, or, I'm that person, or, I'm that bitch, or I'm whatever, and that's fine. Everyone has the right to identify who they want to be. But I often feel that that facade often hinders us from being the whole actualized person that we are, as well as accepting others who don't actually fit that small kind of person.
So basically, he asked me to pose for his book.
Yeah.
And because of my toxic masculinity, I declined.
Look at that.
But
I thought, which we cleared up earlier, that I thought that he agreed to do it.
I thought I was just agreeing on photos.
Yeah.
But I was just, and now this is what we need to talk about. It's toxic masculinity. I couldn't take new photos because it's literally like, I guess it's just toxic masculinity. I just don't want to be seen naked. I don't want pictures of me seen naked. I'm not really worried about my dick or anything. It's just like certain poses.
I don't even care about that.
No. It's not even that. I'm just like, bro, it's just like me posing and like showing my ass. I always hated my large butt.
No.
I always hated it.
Yeah.
My girl likes it because she's bisexual. So I don't even like listen to that bullshit. I don't even listen to that bullshit.
Shout out to
but
Cedric's
also,
girlfriend, because you are on the wave.
Also,
you are where things should be. Please talk to this man.
I just met this man. We didn't even, I was like, can you at least give me a drink first?
No,
or at least take me to dinner first? He just asked me for pictures in my DMs. We just met.
Because
I'm just like, bro, I'm not getting naked in my apartment. I'm like, can we go to your place? The thing is, it's definitely toxic masculinity. me, and I'm not ready, and it's just like a LA. I'm just like, bro, I'm from Baltimore, bro. I know niggas that's crazy. I am heterosexual, but that's like whatever. I just don't feel sexy. I don't know. It's so much, but I just don't want to. I don't know. It's just like I'm trying to do stand up.
No, but that's
and it's just
good.
like I don't think you tried to tempt me with like the likes and the followers.
No,
like
but not really the likes and the follows. I just feel like,
that was my like cost benefit analysis.
See, that was me.
It was a cost benefit analysis because I'm just trying to get followers and friends. And I'm just like, you're right, you want to strip my walls down, but I have walls and defense mechanisms, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, I don't know what to say about that, bro. I have so many. It's toxic. I don't want to.
But the thing is, there's a difference between knowing that, which you are aware of, and making a change of it.
I know, but we're not talking about like swimming or stage fright. No. It's just like, you want me to get my thighs and legs out, bro? I don't like my thighs and legs, and I don't even want pictures. I'm not a model.
But the thing is, that's not the point. Everyone is a model because everyone should be deemed beautiful. And the way the society, basing back on systemic racism and how they've projected the European beauty as being the standard of how things should be, and even now in modern culture.
And hold on, before we go to that, it was a brand new guy. He was gay. I was a little bit scared, and I'm just like, yo, you trying to get me naked in your apartment? I know you didn't think that. I know you take that as an insult, but I'm just telling you, I'm being candid and open. But I'm just like, bro, I just moved here from Baltimore and New York City, bro. I'm like a dog who's been abused. You know what I mean? I'm like a fucking. I don't even like talking to black men in general. So I'm just saying, like, thank you, black man, for doing this to you, and that's the point of this podcast. We'll name later. I'm talking to black men. I'm talking to creators. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just like, don't no other nigga ever ask me to do nothing like that. So I'm just like, I'm confused.
But we talked about this
I'm scared. I'm confused, scared.
Don't be scared.
And I'm just like, I'm not doing it
because
I need to be in LA a little bit longer.
Yeah. But don't be scared. The reason why I felt that I should nurture and or continue to speak to you, because there's a difference between someone who just ain't about shit and not open for adjustment and to look at their views as being very canon and not the way everyone views things, and open to adjustments and being pliable or things like that. I feel that from you, which is why I didn't take offense. I never take offense, honestly, because like I told him earlier, if I ask someone to do something, it's just an asking of that. You're not indentured to that. You're not, contractually obligated to show up to this nonsense that I'm.
But I knew you were deeper than that.
Yeah, but also same as you. And so, like I told you earlier, there's always a place where things come from, and there's always a room for figuring out
where it came from.
Where it came from.
And it was just like, I ain't trying to get naked, take no pictures. That was it.
But a lot of people, and I talked to a friend recently who was saying that he was previously interested in doing it, and we had taken photos previously, but I don't release anything unless the model has its approval, or people are comfortable, and I'm just not that person. I don't want to. And there's people who have
it's deeper than that. It's toxic masculinity. It's homophobia.
Exactly.
It's a bunch of bullshit from being from Baltimore to New York City. But I just didn't want you to take offense. It's just almost like just a personal preference. I want to like get famous a different way.
But that's not my goal is never being famous.
Of course.
And people always wonder why. Like
I'm just talking about from my perspective.
Exactly. But that's why I need to explain my perspective so that you also open your perspective so that everyone isn't thinking the same way.
Nobody didn't even have to know. It could have just been for you.
And that's exactly how I keep it.
Think I was so.
But that's what.
It was toxic.
That's how I realized it was toxic, because no, dead ass. Because.
But I was like, I still want to be your friend and fuck with you.
Yeah.
I just ain't trying to take mine.
Exactly, but because
skinny jeans off.
A lot of men feel that way about me. Because
you big, you black, you tall, you strong,
and I'm beautiful.
Are you? How do you identify?
I don't identify as anything.
So it's just like
I am what I am.
You're unknown, so I'm scared of that. And I've been touched before by a man.
I don't want to
when I
touch
thought
you,
I know that, but I'm just saying I've been touched by a man when he it was like no permission given. So
That's
I'm just
exactly.
like, so I'm just like, I ain't trying to get in no place with some nigga trying to touch me for getting naked.
But that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's
it's very
why
much
I
a thing,
feel
especially in the
like-
black community.
But that's why I feel like it comes from a place, and that's why I was saying to you, I was.
But I
not,
still fucked you. I was like, yo, let's
I
hang.
know.
I'm just not trying to take my clothes off.
But you're deflecting the fact that that trauma that happened to you because of that black man
don't
touched
think it's
you.
trauma.
Yes, it is, sir.
Nah,
Yes, it is.
it wasn't trauma.
Yes, it
It's
is.
just like a moment.
But things that happen to you reflect. How do you not consider that as trauma?
Oh, if that's trauma, I've done that to other people.
Exactly.
Women.
A lot
So I'm
of-
just like,
but
damn,
the
I've
thing is-
caused so much trauma, so I didn't want to consider it trauma.
You were absolutely correct. With
That's
R. Kelly.
crazy.
R. Kelly.
No, not no R. Kelly
No!
shit. No, nothing
No,
like that. Just
no,
touching.
But the thing is,
inappropriate touching.
But you have to recognize the similarities between the two, and that's where people deflect, and that's where people miss the opportunity of growing and learning because they're always trying to separate themselves from someone else who had a moment of trash. You know what I mean?
But it's not
Because
like
we're-
trauma because it wasn't like
No, but it is
wasn't
trauma.
a gay thing or that
no,
thing
but
or
it
this.
affected you because the way that you approached me was different, and that's why I told you.
No, but it's just like it's just a personal preference. I don't want to.
No, but
I just do. It's just a
but
personal
what-
preference. Like
what
I
are-
like sweet tea versus unsweet tea.
What are
That's how I look
What
at
are
it.
preferences rooted in? Bias.
What about sweet tea and unsweet tea? I mean, that's how I look at it.
Sweet tea. Oh, okay. If you
So it's like
having
you like
southern-
girls, you like guys,
if
sweet
if
tea,
you having
unsweet.
southern sweet tea, yes, they put in the whole bag, and you
Yeah,
if you
they put in
diabetic,
the whole bag. They
you
all the way to the
diabetic,
bag. They all the way
that's
to the
not
bag,
for
and I'm
you.
like, no bag.
That's different. But if you're discounting an experience with someone because of something you had prior, that's something you should look into.
Yes, for sure.
Again, let me preface this by saying I am not an expert. I don't know shit about shit. I don't know shit about shit. This is my experiences with people. If you're having a triggering response to someone doing something to you that's outside of your previous experiences and outside of your life experience, you should always look into why you're reacting that way. Not necessarily that you're questioning yourself and your core values and why you're doing it, but just like look into like what is actually me, what's ego, what's trauma, what's social media, what's common day, what's my friends, what's influence, what's my mom, what's my parents, and go back to what is you. Essentially, how do you feel? Being an actualized human
What
being.
if how you want to be is not really like your reality, but you want to be a certain way?
Then that's different. If you're choosing to be a certain way because you want to emulate whoever, soever, whatever, then that's because you're choosing to be that way. There's a difference between you choosing to be that way than who you are innately and who you know you are.
You know, the point of this whole podcast was to also like talk to black creatives, but also just talk to black men because they have like walls up for black men, especially
That is
black
exactly
men.
why we're friends.
Especially
You keep
especially
discounting
black
our encounters.
homosexual men.
I'm
And
not
I don't even know if you're
homosexual.
homosexual. Or
I'm not because.
But have you had sex with men?
I have had sex with
I
men.
mean, but-
I've had sex with men. I've had
See,
sex
that's
with
the-
women.
that's the
I've had sex
toxic-
with
that's the
trans
toxic-
men.
that's
I've
the-
had sex with trans women, and they're all human beings.
That's the
And
toxic. That's the
that's a
toxicity. Toxicity.
Again, me growing up being even my biological dad has not been present. My stepdad has been more present. Absent recently, but more present than my biological dad. Him being a pastor and growing up in the church. Having that perspective of purity and what it presents itself to be, and meeting the actualized adults, adolescents, teens, toddlers in the church really adjusted my view. Also going to this school, University High School, Richard Takagaki, who is my comparative religions teacher. Richard Takagaki.
Professor.
You're a professor. He was a sensei of sorts. He really exploded in my mind to the possibilities of what my reality is present day in 2002, I guess, from when I was here, is not the actual reality. Everyone has a different experience. Everyone has a different life. And you have to be open to be coachable.
I worry about being judged though. I mean, even as much as you don't want to be judged, I still feel like it's niggas in Baltimore, or just like, I shouldn't even call them niggas. It's people, black people in Baltimore that would look at me different. Even my mom would look at me different.
Yeah.
If I just like certain things I do, and she's all I want to make proud.
Same.
And I'm scared of talking to black people. Because black men specifically, because we don't have fathers, I don't have a father. And that affected me for sure. And you know, we always just dealt with, it's a whole lot of walls built up with just black men, which is very unfortunate.
Yes, sir.
I didn't have a brother, I didn't have a dad.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, you can relate to that too. And I'm just like wondering if, and my girl keeps telling me to go to therapy.
Yes.
It's like, I can't afford it.
And
I don't have a job. I will go to therapy right now. But I'm trying to talk about it right now through the podcast. Because I don't have insurance right now. It's hard to get a job in LA. We can talk about that later.
You can talk
about that for days.
If you can
talk to me for like, oh, we'll deal with your like pay grade or whatever.
You can talk to me for the time being.
How do you deal with, I mean, I just wanted to talk about not having a father, how it affects you. I don't know.
This is real, yeah. Allergies. My apologies. Me not having an active father, I would say.
Biological father, me neither. I can definitely relate to that.
Either one, biological or my stepdad. My biological father was very present, but he was inactive. He just didn't seem to take an interest in me as an individual, outside of being his son, which, you know, people feel obligated to do things or show up for. He didn't really do that either. But as far as me being a human being and nurturing that, I think a lot of parents miss that. A lot of parents try to force their past misgivings and past late glories on their children as extensions of themselves. Also, that happens in relationships. People get involved with people as extensions of themselves. They should not be. Terrible. But I feel like my father never saw me as a human being as a whole. He just kind of disengaged.
I never thought about it like that.
Because I wasn't the son that he wanted. I was more sensitive to people and their well-being and how their plight of life. In school, I went to a school called Holy Spirit, and my best friend at the time, I had two best friends. One male, Walter, who was very Vanessa Williams, light-skinned, sandy hair, blue eyes.
Pop star black.
Pop star black, as I refer to. Beyonce, Alicia Keys, Chris Brown.
Pop star black.
He's pop star black. I'm obviously black. Y'all probably can't even see me right now, to be honest. Probably my phone can, but not his phone. You know,
you still need to hear this audio though. It's very good.
You need to hear the audio. It's very, you know, I don't know shit about shit, but I am very open to sharing what I have learned for the most part, not projecting it as canon. We're just projecting it as an experience. That's it. And I tell people all the time, I'm not to be understood, I'm to be experienced. And whatever you take from it is whatever you take from it. I can't control the narrative of however you see me, but it is what it is.
So your father didn't see you as a whole being.
So my father didn't see me as a whole being.
I don't know if that's what he actually thought, but I feel like I can definitely.
Yeah, I can't contest to how Ellis Paul Allen IV saw me as a whole person, but I know that I was not the son that he imagined to be, and I wish.
Or wanted to be involved with, which is heartbroken.
Wanted to be involved with.
Because at the end of the day, I had a realization where I was just like, nigga, even if you broke, you can hang with your kid.
Exactly.
They want McDonald's.
Exactly.
And fucking playhouses. They don't need money. And you just don't want to be around. That mean you didn't want to fuck with me.
Exactly.
But this nigga tried to come around both. We had a moment when we were older.
Yeah.
And you had your experience. And I also had an experience with Christmas when... I mean, they would like ask me for money randomly, and he would get me because I was like vulnerable, and I was like, whatever, it's fun, it's a good time. But it was also a couple moments we had a phone call, and he was just like, I don't understand what I did to you, and I was just like, damn, if you don't understand, then nigga, we don't even need to talk no more. If you wasn't there, then because I looked at the statistic later in life, which just meant like if you don't have your both parents or your father, you are more susceptible to crime.
You know what? And that's not
rape,
true.
Jail, everything.
That is
That's just
true.
what they told us.
That is not true. And I found that to be not true to all the black men out there, any Afro-Latinos, any men of
But
color.
you definitely need your dad in your life for sure.
No.
Oh shit.
No, sir. No. Because, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, and that is, and let me.
You do need to be in your kid's life though.
Yes, you do need to be in your kid's life if you actively made a child, but you do not need two parents of different sex to raise you.
For sure.
Let me tell you why.
Oh, that's for sure.
My mother,
for sure.
from the moment I was born, I knew she was down for me. For the most part, knowing that and we're gonna get to that later.
Mine too. I love you, man.
I love you, mom too. I love you, mom too.
Of course.
But going down to the obligation of being a parent of a child, my mom fulfilled that to every need. This woman took me to the premiere of every Power Ranger film. She took me. She made sure that my needs were kept.
She got you every toy at McDonald's.
Every toy. And the thing is, and she also worked several jobs. She did hair at home. My mom got more degrees than a thermometer. She's very smart. She's a fantastic black woman. And every year I try to celebrate her because I love her to death. But growing up in the 60s, being born in 66, and being, a child of that, toxic environment of black males being in the family and or not being there. My granddad was a wonderful man, love him as a human being. He was always great to me. However, I do acknowledge the fact that he was not a good dad to my 6 uncles and aunties. They didn't have the best experience, and my grandmother, Nana, didn't have the best experience being married to him. His second wife had a semi-better experience, I guess, but she recognized that my grandmother was valid in her critique. But growing up from that, having that example, meeting men who were not as good, that's all you're used to. And so recently, in 2020 now, I love my nieces and nephews. I have several younger siblings: Aaron, Ebony, Jay, Jalen, and Christian, my adopted brother in my head. I love you, Christian. We all, Aaron and Ebony have children. Ebony has 2 children. Aaron has 1 child who has my birthday. During Christmas Eve, I brought their gifts to them because I love my kids. Those are my kids, by extension. I actually have a adopted son, by the way. Aaron, I love you. Aaron as well. Your birthday is coming up. I love you, son. You'll be 20 this year, my boy. But my nieces and nephews for my brother and sister, and my friend Amy, Dre and Mila, I love you too as well. My nieces and nephews, I brought them gifts. And my niece had a necklace, which I mentioned earlier, and she had 2 separate ones that broke in half. She gave it to her best friend and wanted to keep for herself. Frozen 2. She loves Frozen 2. I love you. So my mom immediately said, "Do not give it to your cousin, my nephew."
Your male cousin.
My male cousin, my only male nephew. And I was, well, not my only male, my cousin, my brother Tony, who I also love. Tony, I love you. He has several male nephews, but my sister's, my sister's son, my only nephew from my sister, she didn't want to give that to him, and I was really heartbroken by it because that was the moment I realized that my mom loved me as her son, but she didn't like me as a person. Because of the implied homosexuality or
which
softness,
stems from just like traditional, especially black, religious,
systemic racism, religious dogma, things that are in culture that don't make any sense.
Against right now,
which we're battling against all the time, and I see it all. And it really made me really want to write an essay because I was looking at her, who I love. I adore my mom. She's everything that I would want to be, which is kind of sad because there's things about her that I know are flawed. But I still aspire to be that wonderful person, that beautiful person, inside and outside. But it made me sad because me being her oldest, and me being the person that I know that I am, and my interactions with people, her not allowing my nephew to play with dolls or be soft in any way, gave me the inclination that she didn't like me. You know what I mean? As a person, which made me sad because, like, you've had my dad, my stepdad. You've seen how my brother has not. He's a great guy. I love my brother, but he hasn't stepped up as the best father as he could be, or human being.
Best example, and other people in your life. And my stepdad being a pastor in the church, you know what I mean, being the example of, purity, goodwill, and all that
head
stuff.
of household.
Him,
strong.
actively
It's not
cheating
real.
on my mom.
It's not real.
You know what I mean? It's not real. And it's like you have all these examples of people being trash to you.
That are heterosexual.
And me not saying that I am homosexual or anything, I'm just like free flowing, and you've known this from the moment I came out of you. You know what I mean? And you know that I've been a good guy to
Still didn't
you.
accept it.
You know what I mean? And that hurt me, and I was like, all these examples, all this constant.
Did you talk to her about it?
No. I haven't seen her since Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I haven't seen my siblings and my nieces and nephew since Christmas Day because I just feel really hurt, and I don't want to. It's a mixture of me being understanding of where they come from, and it's a mixture of me just not wanting to put myself in a situation where I'm constantly having to defend myself and on the defense about me just being a genuine person. So I kind of just deflected, and which is bad.
You also hurt, and you probably want to do it the right way.
Yeah, and I want to finish getting all my thoughts out and compressing it because I've always loved my mother. She's always been
for
great.
your best friend to break your heart.
Yeah.
Very.
And that happened recently
disappointing.
too. I had a friend who I've known since '98, and she, I've done a lot of things for her to make sure that she was not wanting, and she
Broke your trust somehow?
yeah. She broke my trust. This is so weird. She broke my trust, but again, I'm honest. She broke my trust, and she broke.
No names.
No, I mean,
No names.
But the thing is, I'm very honest about it, and that's why.
What happened?
She not to go into detail, but I set her up for success, and every moment I set her up for, she floundered, and she blamed those flounders on me, which a lot of people do. Because I'm very helpful. I see a lot of things. I see a lot of visions. I see a lot of avenues. I see a lot of ways of solving a problem. And I try to exert that as much as I can because going back to the medium, I saw my friend Melissa Harding, I love you. My friend Melissa, she took me to this medium, and Miss B told me that I was such in my private setting, that I was such a being that people wouldn't know if I was a man or a woman if I read my energy, because she said that my not to say spirit guides, I hate that because it's very
Limiting,
disrespectful to Native American people who take, that's very serious for them, and I hate that. I hate to trivialize it to be like a fad. But she said the people who lead me in direction are an older woman and a young man. And she's like, have a maturity of someone who's very sensitive and has seen the world, and the childlike naivete of someone who's experiencing it for the first time, which allows me to be open to things. And so when she told me that, I took it to heart. And she also told me, she was like, I don't even know why you're here. She was like, I should be asking you questions. You shouldn't even be here. She's like, you know what to do. She's like, why are you not doing it? And I left her with that. But also she said something else to me about my mom, which is unwarranted. Mind you, this woman, Miss B, asked me no questions. This woman asked me no questions. She read my entire life
like it was the New York Times on the front page. She asked me no questions. She told me about myself earnestly, honestly, from a place of love, which I appreciated. And so that made me cognizant of who I was, having an unbiased party who I just met, confirm what I've always felt, but not confirmed from social media and people and social constructs.
Which is an overlying theme. Repeat
Yes,
that
yes.
theme. To not be influenced by.
Exactly. So when I asked
You want to be your true self.
exactly,
That's like the overall theme.
Yes.
Be your true self.
Yes.
Not influenced by social media.
Anybody, what people think of
Be
you.
who you truly think you are.
Trash. And that's why when I
All
asked,
that is trash.
all that is trash.
No, I want you to reiterate it for us.
No,
Okay.
it's honestly trash because it doesn't serve you any purpose. You're honestly limiting yourself as a human being. And growing up, being in the church, having my maternal grandmother being a reverend, and then my stepdad being a pastor, and then even knowing him since the day I was born, and growing up in the church and having him be my pastor, that ingrained in me rules and situations where I thought that was just like, oh, I can't do that. I can't be there. I can't sing that. I can't do that. I can't listen to that. I can't be there.
Or act this way.
I can't act this way. Respectability politics. And that goes back to white supremacy. White supremacy. That is so ingrained in our culture that as black
We don't
people,
even realize it.
we don't even realize that plays a part in who we are as people, who we believe in, what we allow, all that. And being someone who was very aware of the duality of a human being and seeing the change in situations and people and the facade and I took that back, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
It's very conflicting.
It's very conflicting. And that's what scientifically is called cognitive dissonance. That's where you're presented with the evidence of things that are incorrect and wrong, and you're still like, no.
Try to find evidence to oppose it.
No.
And you can find it online and social media and everything.
Iggy Azalea's black.
What?
Iggy Azalea.
Bro, I gotta say thank you, black man.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that's great, but before we go, tell the people, my subscribers, your Instagram, who you are, what you
God.
do. You hit, tell them everything real quick.
We're ending right now, so people, we're
gonna do this again. I feel like we have to do this again.
We're gonna do several parts
It's
because
just the tip of the
Cedric is
iceberg.
my buddy, I'm committed to him as a friend. No, but genuinely, I want to tell you that.
I appreciate you, bro.
No,
I'm
dead
definitely
ass.
trying to. We don't even have to do it on camera for real.
No, but because I feel like when I told you when we were earlier, I was like, I feel like there's something rooted in that needs to be deconstructed. Not that I'm wanting you to
Get naked.
End of it, take these pictures, but it's like you have to look at where that comes from.
I have to shed some skin. I know,
You know
I
what I
have
mean?
to, but
not telling too much business. I had a friend who recently cheated on his wife, and I love them dearly, and they have a beautiful family, and they're fantastic. And there was one time where it hit me in the face, like it hit me in the gut that he was cheating on her, and I didn't know how to tell it to him because I was just like, who am I to force this narrative on you? And I don't know what you're doing personally, outside of me. I was right. And that happens a lot. I feel something because I'm genuinely trying to connect with someone and get to know who they are and why they do what they do. And he turned out to be cheating on someone that I knew. And it's reaffirmed that I shouldn't ignore the instincts that I have with connecting with people and asking them questions, and not that I'm trying to get them to do something for me. I'm trying to more so get them to discover why they're not.
You're operating on a different playing field. You're not on the surface, yeah.
Not that I suggest everyone to do everything that's presented to them, because I don't believe
this
that.
Is you. This is your call.
You know what I mean?
This is why I wanted to get you for my
interview.
I was like, I got to interview this motherfucker. He's interested as hell. I ain't trying to get naked for him yet, or in general, for my niggas in Baltimore, I'm still real. Holla at your boy. Say your Instagram real quick so we can get off this and talk for real.
But I like that because even from the beginning of our conversation, said you've changed. From I'm absolutely not doing that. Fuck what you thought. To not yet.
I was like years from now, maybe years from now. But I got to be in LA longer.
But that's fine,
bro. Tell them your Instagram so we get off.
You know what? I have 2 Instagrams. One's personal, Insta Ellis Allen. You can also find ELLIS ALLENINSTA. Insta Ellis Allen. You can find that on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever that you use. Vine no longer existent, and neither is Periscope. But all those things I used to be on. My photography Instagram is photography or photographer. It's FAUTOGA.
This is the one he gave me, the fake one.
That's not a fake one. That's the one that I do for the most part business with. And my therapy news I'm trying to get Cedric for, because y'all, this is I think honestly, and the reason why I asked him, and the reason why I asked anybody, this is a human being which I feel like is open to the idea of change and adjustment and growth and being a better person. And the reason why I offer these therapy news for people is to see that they are absolutely all they need to be.
Yes.
No, deadass.
I appreciate it, bro. That is great. That's the end.
That's it. All
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean,
I believe it. All they need to be without.
I'm just ending this fast because I got to pee real quick.
Get your ass. I can talk.